Hello, people. I'm a little late. Every time I schedule these lives, I can never make it on here on time. So I apologize for anybody who is waiting. My apologies. I'm getting better because I'm usually like 3 hours late. So I'm getting better. I'm trying. Hi. Hello. How are you doing? I was just saying I was apologizing for my tardiness on this scheduled live. I actually tried to schedule it, but I'm better than I usually am because I'm usually 5 hours late. So excuse me for that. Peace. Who is that? Mr. Mim Masters? Just be real. I'm fabulous. How are you? Did you guys catch my live yesterday? My story time, my R. Kelly story yesterday? It was very riveting and interesting. You need to catch that live if you didn't. Telling a few of my high school stories, my high school tales too. Hey, Latasha. Hey, Latasha. I believe we'll be talking about this R. Kelly thing for a while. You know, a lot of people are emotional about it, and rightly so, because, you know, we're dealing with minors and adults who should know better, who should be protective of young adults, you know, and not take advantage. You know, there's a lot of what we should be and what we should do. There's also a lot of fake outrage, you know. As it stands, you know, I'm seeing the list now come out of which celebrities were actually with women who were younger age. You have Prince now. I've seen Prince. I think he, Maite, the woman that he married, was underage when he had his eyes on her, and I think he became her guardian first, and then married her when she turned 18 or something like that. So I'm hearing. So our beloved, masterful genius Prince did it too. Russell Simmons did it, and apparently Jay-Z, the same Jay-Z, well, Foxy Brown said Jay-Z took her virginity at 15, and Beyonce was also underage, I believe, when Jay and her got together. I think she was, you know, a little underage too. Jay-Z is what, 50 something? Anyway, these things happen. These things happen. Were any of these girls held under duress? Were they raped? You know, we gotta define these things. We gotta define who's a minor here, and how, and under what circumstances can we offer protection to young adults? Because at 16, you're what we consider, you're a minor, but you're also considered a young adult, which is an oxymoron. I'm like, which is it? You know, how are we defining these things? But I'm a mother of girls, and I am really clear, really black and white about my role in their lives, and my position as a mother will be that of a mother as long as you listen to what I'm telling you to do. The moment you decide that what I want for you is not what, we don't share the same thought in your well-being, and you're deciding to make decisions outside of the rules and regulations that I've set before you to make sure that you're protected, then you're a woman. You're a woman now. You're starting to have sex and I tell you not to, then I'm talking to a woman now. You're no longer my child, because my child will listen to what I tell them to do. My child will follow rules and regulations. My child will be a reflection of me when you're in school, and when I don't have my eye on you. You're gonna do what I tell you to do, because I'm the authority figure. When I no longer am the authority figure in your life, you have reached adulthood. That's it. Maybe not by law, but definitely by emotions. Because then now you're arguing with me in my house about what I'm requiring of you to do. So what is that? I'm really clear on that, though. I have said to my children, my door is it's not a barn. It's not a barn. It's not a revolving door. Once you step out the door, which is you've made an adult decision, you can't come back in. That's just me. Our relationship dynamic has changed. You can't come back in. So when I'm hearing women talk about how, these were children, it's a child. I'm like, a child, all of them were having sex before R. Kelly came along. All of them were in a state of womanhood when they were being groupies and taking on offers for sex with this celebrity. That's what it is. So although they're not mature enough, they're really not mature enough. They're not listening to authority anymore. So they are now responsible for their actions. If you're not mature enough and you're not listening to the authority figures, which are your parents, then you have emancipated yourself. And it's as simple as that. Listen, some of us will be food for the gods. Some of our children, let me not go there, because that'll be a black pill for real. For real. But you got to be consistent with this thing. If you're telling your 16-year-old that she can have a boyfriend, then you're saying that she's emotionally mature enough to handle that kind of a relationship, or possibly more than likely a sexual relationship. And if you're saying that she is not fully developed and she's too immature to handle a male and female relationship, then that has to be across the board. It doesn't matter if he's 16 too, or 25, or whatever it is. If she's not mature enough by the argument of having a relationship with a man maybe 10 or 15 years older than her, she's not mature enough, period. And I honestly don't think so. My daughter wasn't dating anybody at 16. We don't date in my house. What is a date? What is that? You're going to try her out? Not on my watch. Not with my kids. Not with my girls. We don't do the date thing. If you're interested in her, you're interested in marriage. You're interested in now making her a woman. You're interested now in taking her on as a wife. Not no plaything. Not no plaything. Very clear about that. Very clear about that. I am. And I've been told that I'm unreasonable and too harsh and too hard. And I think I might have gave that all but a minute of thought. I said, oh well. But I don't have no illegitimate grandchildren in my space. My daughter is not out here shaming me in the streets. You don't see her nowhere. She works and does her thing. Very cut and dry. So I like the line in which I've chosen to raise my children. As harsh as it may have been, it kept my kids so far, because I have a 12-year-old too that's getting ready to really do the dance with me in a minute. But so far, so good. So far, so good. So it is what it is. You got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. And like I said, women, we need to stop lying about our intentions, why we do certain things. But you can't get women to be honest about why they wear lipstick. So I don't know what we're not going to make much headway here, because we can't even come to a conclusion on why we put on fucking lip gloss. I do it for me, and I do it because it makes me feel good. Really? Really? That's the only reason you do it? Oh, I wear heels because, I just love looking good for myself. I love looking good for myself. I don't do it for anybody else. It's all for me. This is the fuckery that we tell each other. I'm like, dude, I do have a vagina. I don't have a prosthetic vagina. I have a vagina that helps regulate my hormone levels. I am a true woman here, and you're telling me you only wear lip gloss and high heels because you want to feel good about you and not to be sexually attracted to men? Are you telling me that a girl at 16 years old is not dressing to be sexually attracting to boys? Of course we're doing that. These are things that we have to discuss, though. These are things that we have to discuss, though. Are dark-skinned women the enemy? Well, I guess we got to go into the topic of this discussion here. Because lately, I've been getting emails and a couple of comments, surrounding the whole light-skin privilege thing. And you guys know how I feel about that. I don't feel that any of us are more privileged than anybody else. I feel that we all are victims of this racism and the hierarchies that have been set in place, the caste systems that have been set in place. We're all victims of propaganda. All of us. There's no privilege if you're a slave too. You're a slave too. So it's like, but we're in this barrel and you're a little bit higher than me, but you don't realize you're in the barrel too, kind of thing. That's how I see all of that. But there have been light-skinned women that have said that our problem as dark-skinned women is that we're chasing dark-skinned men. Our problem is in trying to win the favor of dark-skinned men. This is what light-skinned women are saying. So I wanted to have the conversation about this because I'm still in the analyzing phase of it, because these are new statements that are coming through. I've never really heard, at least on my end, they haven't come to me on my end in this way by specifically pointing out that dark-skinned men are the bane of our existence, the poison in every woman's life is the dark-skinned man. This is what light-skinned girls are saying, though. I don't know what you think about that. My eyebrows are raised because I'll tell you what. I feel like there are undertones of these lighter skinned women are not really attracted to these darker skinned men. And I feel like there are undertones like they use these men as charity cases, and they're like little monkeys that you have to train. Sit still, sit, boo boo, sit, good dog. You know that? Remember that commercial? So I feel like that's what's being said. Although most of them have said that they have been abused and mistreated by dark-skinned men. That's what these light-skinned girls are saying. They have been sexually abused, physically abused, mistreated, cheated on, whatever, by dark-skinned men. They're saying that in air quotes. No other types of men are treating them badly but dark-skinned men. And here we are on the other end of it as dark-skinned women, assuming that they are on this proverbial pedestal because they epitomize and symbolize perfection and beauty, and they're saying no, that's not what's happening behind closed doors. Behind closed doors, they're getting their ass kicked. Behind closed doors, they're getting cheated on. Behind closed doors, it's a fight, it's disharmony, it's disrespect, and they're also admitting that they're too pretty for these guys, and they should be treated better. That's the other thing. That's the caveat there. I'm really too pretty for him So I deserve to be treated better than how he's treating me. Okay. All right. I told y'all before that the reason why a lot of us will choose wrong relationships. You know, this is really a black pill moment. You will choose wrong again. Why do I say that? Because you're choosing someone you want. And the someone that you want is usually, 9 times out of 10, someone who is better than you. They are better than you in some sort of way, whether it be more money than you, more status than you, more looks than you, or something. You're never attracted to yourself. You're always attracted, as they say, opposites attract. You're always attracted to your opposite. So you will choose wrong again. All of you will. If you are in line with you know, the usual function of it, and how you see people, and how you have to have this, and you gotta have that, and all of that, you will choose a dud again. And this is both male and females do this. Males and females do this. So while you are wanting someone who represents something better than yourself, who you want to make you feel, to increase your value, to make you feel like you are better than what you actually are, the person that you're choosing wants the same thing. So if they are better than you, they're not gonna, you can't save them. That's the irony of it. If you're going for someone who's better than you, looking better than you, more money than you, and all that kind of stuff, they want somebody better than themselves too. And it ain't you. So you have everybody looking, you know, everyone's still looking. I know you like me, I know you love me, you would fall on the sword for me, but I don't give a shit about that, because I want somebody that brings me pain and anxiety and fear. I want to feel like I'm going to lose them at any minute so that I can treasure them. And you don't give me that because you really like me. And there must be something wrong with you because you really like me, because I'm fucked up. So if I'm fucked up and you like me, you're nobody that I should respect either. I'm looking for somebody better than me. And this is the cycle. Over and over and over again. There's some of you guys that chase these light-skinned girls, and no shade, because like I said, we're all one here. You chase these light-skinned girls and she thinks you're just a little monkey. A little monkey that she's going to train. She thinks that you are a charity case. And that her looks are better than anything you have to offer, and that you should treat her like the goddess that she is, because you're not going to get any better than her. Ain't that what it is? Harsh reality. And I'm not saying every light-skinned woman thinks that way, but I'm saying my inbox is hot now. I'm hearing a reoccurring theme that it is the dark-skinned man is an issue not only for dark-skinned women, but for light-skinned women too. These are what our light-skinned sisters are saying. They're saying, get off the hope boat. Get off the hope train, you dark-skinned girls, you stupid-ass dark-skinned girls. They don't want you. They don't even want us. You fighting with me for him and he ain't shit is what they're saying. Very, very bad. Very, very bleak prospects out here. Very, very bleak. Do I agree with it? No. I think you can potentially be used by anybody. Anybody. It's not specific to color. I'm just saying what's being said out here. And I'm not going to say that it's entirely untrue, but is it the status quo? No. I think it regulates itself due to conditions. I think every condition is going to be altered based on who the woman is and who he is and all of that stuff. I do think it will vary. There is no status quo on that. But you have to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to be real careful. Yes, Plum, I said a little monkey. A monkey. A monkey. Dark-skinned men don't realize that they're seen as little shaved monkeys to a lot of these women that they chase too. They really think they have respect for the women that they chase who don't want them. But men do this in general. They chase women who don't want them. They need to have that that feeling of getting a prize. And how do you create that? You have to work for it. And to work for it, it has to be an element of, I'm not really interested, or I got other options, or whatever. In order to create that chase, he can't be the prize. In order to create the chase, you have to create this air of you're the prize, and there's no one better than you, and all of that shenanigans. You know, that's how the mating game works. That's how it works, and this is why we all feel pain. All of us. He said that he doesn't know if he actually is the man I love. Oh, I hope this thing ain't gonna act up. Darkskin men are promoted in the media as very masculine and attractive. Most black women would prefer them tall, dark, handsome. But I think that is changing. Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we know about the tall, dark, and handsome thing. But, you know, there's really no way to say this in a politically correct way. A lot of men like women who don't really care about them. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Let me say it again. A lot of men like women who don't genuinely care about them. And they dog out the women who do. I mean, that's just how it is. And we can call it wrong. We can say, you know, why is this happening? It's not right, and we should do this, and we should be this and that and the other. And it's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to continue in that way. We always want people who do not want us. Just like I said in my live yesterday, when I talked about, you know, in high school, the guy that was so in love with me that eventually, you know, years later, I saw him again, and he was a doctor in the military, and, you know, I treated him so badly because he showed me attention, because he liked me, and I just felt like, oh, you know, you're not all that, you know, and I abused him. I took all his lunch. Anytime he had 50 cents, you know, I'd take it from him too. You know, I was abusive to him because he liked me. And the guys that I liked, who didn't care, who didn't give a shit about me, I was crazy about. That's how this thing works. Most of you guys are in love with women who are not in love with you. Most women are in love with men who are not in love with you. The people that would stop a bullet for you, who would fall on a sword for you, who would do whatever you ask, are not the people you respect. They are not the people you admire. They are not the people you dream about. When you're on your lunch break, you don't daydream about them. You know? You're not sexually, you don't have any sexual frustration around those types of people. Those types of people who really, really care about you are usually take it or leave it people. We treat them as a take it or leave it. We disregard them because there's no anxiety there, because they don't offer us pain. Most of us are looking for pain. Most, if not all of us, on some level. In a relationship, there is a component, there's a certain percentage of pain. And you call it anxiety, butterflies in your stomach, what is it? I miss him. I want to be around him all the time. That kind of aching feeling. You don't get that from anybody who actually cares about you. You get that from those that give, you get that from those who shun you. It's true. It's a hard pill to swallow there, but it's the truth. And it's exposing our pathology. Why do we want pain? Why do we want to be mistreated? Why are we in relationships where we're being abused and we're not being careful? What is the appeal with that? Because abuse is not just getting a fist in your face. Abuse can be just being ignored. Just being ignored or treated like you're invisible is abuse. And some of us stay. And it drives us even more. We're even more passionate about the person when we're being ignored. Am I right or wrong? This is real. Lady B says, oh, I used to look for pain, but I thought there was something wrong with me. I always look for pain, but some people look for way worse. Well, there's varying degrees of it. Depending on how your childhood was and what you've been exposed to, what you saw in your parents, all of these things sort of create a template for your temperament. You establish a breaking point based on your early experiences with love and relationships. But Lady B, you're looking for pain, and every woman is looking for pain, and every man is looking for pain. We call it different things, but it's really pain. It's really pain. We never want those who want us. Never. I tell my daughters now, you better get somebody you don't want. If you want a peaceful life, it's better that you choose to be chosen by somebody you don't want. That's my advice. The minute you want that person, they're gonna put their fist up your ass and work you like a sock puppet. Tell my children that. Because it's true. It's true. You want to maintain emotional control and sovereignty, all your mental faculties. You don't ever choose somebody, oh, I like him, oh, he sold this, oh. The minute you go, girl, ooh, he's exciting. You have put the nail in your coffin. You have put the proverbial nail in your own coffin. Because that guy's going to know you're going, ooh, he's so cute. I love him. He's going to know that. You're not going to be able to hide that. And once he knows once he knows that, it's over. Reynolds wrap that thing. It's over. It's over. Harsh truth. We all want pain. It creates drama. Drama is pain. Drama is a cute little word for pain. Complications is a cute little word for pain. How many people are in complicated relationships, and why are they still there? Because they love the pain. You feel more alive. You feel more alive. A lot of us live very dispassionate lives. We have nothing that we're passionate about. We don't follow or put any energy, any fertilizer on other things that we like to do besides the people that we fuck. Like there's nothing else that you're passionate about besides having sex. You know how many people live like that? Sex and drugs are the only thing that brings them passion in their lives. So, for the most part, it's going to be that way. It's going to be that way. Lady B said, but it's exciting at the same time. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm referring to. You experiencing pain, the pain of rejection, the pain of I don't know how he feels about me and all of that, it gives you something to think about. It gives you something to do. Maybe it motivates you to go to the gym or, I don't know. It's weird what we're motivated by. But you start doing things. You're always busy trying to win this person's heart. It becomes a preoccupation and a sort of an obsession for you to win this person's heart because you have nothing else going for you. It's important to have some other things going for you so that you don't fall into a cycle of abuse. People that are in abusive relationships have no outlet. They have nothing else that they're passionate about. Their self-worth is tied into winning this person over. And that's how this thing goes. That's how this thing goes. This is how our brothers get trapped too. They're always trying to win these women's hearts that really don't like them. You're just a little monkey. She thinks you're a little ugly monkey. And that her looks are charity to you. That's what she thinks. All these dime pieces out here, and you think, well, why she think this and that? Because she thinks her looks are charitable. And you've made her feel that way. That her looks are charitable. That her looks are as good as your money. Then this is why you get used. Is that right or wrong? It doesn't even matter. It's what you want. It's what you want. This is why the MGTOW's complaining. Why are all these men in loveless relationships? Why are they not picking virtuous women? Why don't they get the women who like to cook and clean and obey their husbands? There are women out here who are like that. There are women out here who are like that. But they don't make your dick hard. What makes your dick hard? When she ignores you. That's what makes your dick hard. When she acts like she doesn't give a shit about you, you ejaculate off of that. Whereas another woman who's baking bread from scratch for you, packing your lunch for work, hot bread and gravy. You get porridge, fresh porridge and all that. She's shelling peas and stuff for the stew. Later on doing all of that stuff. Doing all of that stuff for you. Just Susie Homemaker. My man is the king and whatever he wants is how it goes. And you're bored with her. And you're looking for a sister wife to add to the team. She's doing everything. She got QuickBooks open, managing the taxes, homeschooling the kids, baking bread for you, and you want another fucking wife. Because you're bored. You still want another person on your team. Talk to me. Talk to me. So this is why in relationships you have to put on airs. You can't act like you like them too much. You have to reserve it. Even if you're married, you got to pull the chain. Especially then. Because it is not if you get tired of being with this person, it is a when. And it's usually around the 7th year, you really don't want to be with each other anymore. 7 years into a marriage, you're looking at a couple that is like, it's cheaper to keep her at this point. You feel compelled because you've invested so much time, right? Like you've already bought into it. So now it's like you can't retract. I've already invested. So now I'm committed. Because I've invested, I'm committed and I'm trapped. That's what a marriage looks like 7 years in. This is the honest truth. There's no passion in a marriage after 7 years. You try. Some people claim they have, all that for the gram. I'm so in love, and I'm so in love, and you know, she's either at the doctor's, you know, getting more plastic surgery, or taking diet pills, or doing some other things to try to keep herself from falling apart and him looking another way. But we're so in love. We have all this unconditional love. But your face is all surgeryed up. But we are unconditionally in love with each other. How, Sway? How? Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. If you can't create anxiety in your relationship, you are not going to have passion. And that's just it. And if you're not really attractive, we always got to go back to that. It's going to be hard for you to create anxiety if you're not attractive. Now, your mental game has to be on high. Like you got to be at the top of Nimrod's tower there in order to create anxiety if you're not physically attractive. It can be done. It can be done. But in order for a relationship to be passionate, nobody can be comfortable. Because nobody wants to be comfortable. Men don't want to be comfortable. They tell you that shit. And it's a lie. Men want anxiety. They want frustration. They want to pull you. They want to have to pull you close to them. They don't want you running. They want to pull you near. Like, come here, girl. You know, resistance. That's what they want. That's what women want too. That's what we want. Salkis, that's so wrong. Salkis, it's so wrong. Bullshit. Listen, I'm at a stage in life where the right or wrongs of things are not what I'm preoccupied with even talking about. Because they're irrelevant. Because what I'm going to face as a woman in my life and what you're going to face as a woman in your life are impracticalities, emotions, unreasonableness, deception, lies, manipulation. You're going to experience this and you're going to want this too. That's the weird part about it. You're going to experience some of this that you hate. And you hate it, but you want it. This is life. So the right or wrong of it all is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. How do you maneuver as a woman? How do you maneuver around all of this stuff? So yeah, our fair-skinned comrades are dropping dime on how they really feel about our men, our melanated men. Our melanated men that say we ain't shit and go after them. They're dropping dime on, like, girl, he's just a dog on a leash. I have him well trained. He loves me and my light skin, and I have him well behaved. Do I say they're wrong for that? Absolutely not. Because the men want that. They're going to them for that. They're going to them because they feel that they are better than them. So these women are giving them what they want. They're giving them that shot, that crack in their arm. And the rest of us are like, all I have to do is be a good woman. And he's going to love me. All I got to do is bake bread and talk softly and curl my hair. And he's going to respect and love me. This is why I say women should befriend all types of women. You should have whores as friends. You need housewives as friends. You need whores as friends. You need young women as friends. You need older women as friends. You need all of these types because either you have been or you will be all of them too. Every woman who's had sex is a whore. I said that before. Every woman who's had sex is a whore. You're no longer a maiden. You're no longer a virgin. You're no longer undefiled. You are defiled now the moment you have sex. So whether it's 25, 30 men, 100 men, or one, you are on the other side of virginity now. You're on the other side of it. We're all in the same game. It's who wants to admit the number, who wants to admit how many, who talks about it, and who keeps it under their hat. But we all in the same slew, the same mix. And we need to confer with each other and stop being enemies to each other. No woman is your enemy. None. We can learn. You know how much wisdom you can get if you just open your mind? Open your mind, open your heart, and say, this is my sister here. Let me sit down and sup with her. Hear about her life. See if I can glean some sort of cautionary tale, maybe some sort of maneuver that will help me out of this situation. All the answers to all our problems are in the sisters sitting next to us. The sisters sitting to the left and the right to you can change your whole life if you start looking at it that way. A light-skinned woman isn't your enemy. Dark-skinned woman isn't your enemy. Brown ain't the enemy. And I'm not saying that they may not think that they're better than you. Listen, some people are better than you, though. We got to get over, this idealism. Some people are better than you. What does that mean? Does that mean your life isn't worth anything? Some people are smarter than you. Some people are more attractive than you. Some people are more creative than you. Some people, of course, have more money than you. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. So fucking what? So what, though? I talk to women all the time who I know instead feel that they're better than me. And by the end of the conversation, we're hugging each other and exchanging numbers. Let's get together. Let's get together. Because I have keys that she can unlock some doors with. And she has keys for me too. That's the bottom line. The emotional stuff, the I'm better than you is sort of an emotional thing. We don't get into that. It's a perception thing. And the minute I walk away from her and I'm standing between two other people, I might be better than that crowd. So it's only contingent upon, you're better looking, contingent upon who the fuck is standing to the left or the right of you. Some days I'm winning. Some days, depending on the crowd that I'm in, I'm winning. I am the best looking girl in the room. And then there are other days when I'm like, well, damn, I got to go to the gym. I got to back up off this pie a little bit. Shit. It happens. But what's fixed is I'm me. I'm me. And I'm not diminishing myself no matter who's in the room. Every day I walk outside my door. And I've said this before, people stare at me all over the place. I don't even know what the hell they're staring at. I believe it's something spiritual, but there's no place I can go where I don't get somebody looking at me like I have two heads. What that is, I don't know, but I assume it's my magic. I'm just assuming it is my magic. And I'll be out and about and there'll be gorgeous women doing this. Start from the feet. I'm usually taller than them, so it's like, that thing. It's that thing. It's sizing you up. You know what I do with them? Hi, how are you? Or I smile. They may give one of those, those fake smiles, or maybe a conversation will start. But I am not allowing anybody to feel, you can feel that you're better than me, but I'm not going to give you an agreement with it. What I can control is my agreement with how you feel. And I'm letting you know I don't agree. That's my responsibility, to let you know how you feel is an isolated event. We don't have no Exxon Valdez oil spill going on over here. You haven't tainted the whole ocean here. Your feeling of being better than me is a figment of your fucking imagination. And I'm letting you know that with a smile. Hi. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Thanks for the donation, Simply T. That's all you can do here. Compete with who and for what? There's always going to be somebody better than you in the room and worse than you in the room. And if you allow the gauge to be contingent upon your environment, you're always going to be up and down. You're always going to be up and down. Every woman is my sister. Every woman is my sister. Now my light-skinned sisters are coming with another spin for me to analyze, and I appreciate them for saying it because it adds another piece to this pie. Another view of things, another level of truth of what I need to do to get her results. That's all it is. She's not my enemy. I want to get some results. What is it that you're doing? How is your temperament? How are you? What's going on here? Why is he willing to die for you and not for me? It's because it's not just looks. Because light-skinned women have said they're abused too. They're abused too. And I tell you all the time, you can pretend like you're polished. You can put on the designer suits and all that and perfectly coif your hair and put on perfume and shave your vagina and all the shit that you do to make yourself refined. But the moment you take off your clothes and your knees are up in the air and he digs in your ass and sees that you're caught in his spell after that, which we usually are, you are reduced to every other woman he's fucked before you. You are now in the same category as every other woman he's been with. Prize where? When he has you emotionally. It's emotionally now. It has nothing to do with how tight your vagina is. It's the fact that he sees in your eyes, I got you. Oh, I got you now. And the moment you give that look of, and he knows he got you, guess what? He's going to drag you by your hair too. He's going to drag your ass too. And you're going to be in the same boat. No pedestal for you. Because you're like, because he got you like, oh, I love him. I love him. You have fallen in love. Fallen. Catch it. You have fallen down. When you love, you fall from your throne. You fall down from your throne. Before that, you are on it. And he's worshiping you because you don't give a shit about him. And when you fall in love, you reduce yourself. Now you're underneath him. Now you're underneath him. And he treats you that way. He doesn't have to earn your affection anymore. He doesn't have to impress you. He doesn't have to tell the truth. He doesn't have to come through with what he says he promises you. He doesn't have to do any of that anymore because you have fallen in love. Talk to me. Talk to me. Who on YouTube is telling you this? Who else on YouTube is giving you the gems, the jewels, and the black pill like this? Nobody. 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 And if they are, they must be looking at me and taking notes. But nobody's doing it. Not this way. Not this way. Nobody with this face is going to tell you it like that. They're not going to tell you it like that. Fallen into a dickened place? Is that what I just read? Mom said fallen into a dickened place. You're in a dickened place instead of a sunken place. Yeah. A lot of us are. A lot of women are. And you have to prioritize this thing. You have to prioritize this thing. Nothing can be more important than your mental and your physical well-being. Nothing. Nothing. So that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. You can't be attached to things or people. Well, true, but we will. We want to be attached. Because in the attachment is what brings the passion. You know? Something flew in my eye. The attachment is what causes passion. So that's a hard thing not to do. Because when we have people who do what we want, what do we say? I'm bored. I mean, there's no connection. He's boring. Well, what makes him boring? I mean, we go out, you know, we go, I want to go, he gives me what I want, but he's boring. And why would, y'all, something in my fucking eye. And why would we say that he's boring? Because he's not bringing us pain. That's why we would say he's boring. He's not creating any anxiety and any pain for us. And furthermore, he's not creating the anxiety and pain that we've come to know and love, that we are used to, that we feel is synonymous with a good relationship, or synonymous with what we feel love is. So I'm bored. We're always bored with the gentlemen. The men who say yes to everything we want. We want challenge. We want pain. The challenge is the pain. That's a cute word. That's another nice word for pain. Challenge. That's what we want. Why can't you just feel without having to overly vocalize it? That created... Wait, why can't you just feel without having to overly vocalize it? That creates mystery and wonder. Well, of course, I am never saying be... I'm not even talking about vocals here. I'm talking about things that people do to create emotions in other people. It's not a statement doesn't create anxiety. You know, it doesn't create that. I can say, I hate you. And that's not as effective as me turning my head. That wouldn't be as effective as me going, because me going, you don't know what I'm thinking. You don't know what I'm feeling. I might be planning something. And you don't have nothing substantiated. So your emotions are going. Your mind is now wondering, what's she going to do next? She's mad. What's she going to do next? So it's always more effective to animate yourself rather than speaking verbatim how you feel, because then you invite their emotions in, which creates more passion, more forgiveness on his part. He wants forgiveness for things you're not even thinking about. Oh, she's leaving me, and you may not be even doing that, but you posture as if you're done, and you get more than if you say, well, I just whatever I'm feeling now. Less words. I always tell women, less talking. You don't have to verbalize everything that you feel. And it's important for seduction that you don't. Seduction is about imagination. It's not about substantiating what you feel. That does not create seduction. Seduction is just imagination. It's just, I wonder if she likes me. I wonder what's up underneath that skirt. I wonder if she's wearing panties. It's not you, you know, having all your vaginal cavity out. That's not seduction. Seduction is not wearing drawers and your booty's jiggling in a sundress. That's seduction. Your booty's jiggling like jelly in a sundress. It looked like you have no panties on, and he wants to know what's going on underneath that skirt. Not you with your legs open 90 degrees. There's a difference. There's a difference. It's what's not said. It's what's not said. So once they conquer you, that's it. Their drive and interest is gone. Yes. Yes. Once they conquer you, it's gone. Once they have sex with you, it's gone. Once they have children with you, it's even more gone than that. It's gone. We can pretend that the relationship is the same as it was in the beginning, but whose relationship? What relationship have you ever been in that the first year of life in it was the same as the third year or the fifth year? Who have you been with that the first 3 months of your relationship was exactly the same 6 months later, a year later, two years later? It's never the same. It's never the same. The ups and downs start happening. The ups and downs start happening because this person really doesn't want to be with you anymore. But they're invested. Talk to me. They're invested in it now, both emotionally and probably financially. So it would behoove them to, you know, try to work it out. We're trying to work it out because I've already paid into this thing. I don't really want to be here anymore, but I've already invested, so I can't walk away. This is economics here. Relationships about economics. This is about sales too. The one way to get somebody to buy from you again, of course, is to buy the first time. Once I buy from you, I'm invested in you. I'm now a part of your world. So the chances of me buying from you again increase. This is the psychology of sales. Relationships is sales. If your man has bought a house, chances are he's going to stick around. He's invested a whole damn house into you. He's not going to want to walk away from that. He might want to emotionally walk away from you, but he can't because he's stuck. He can't because he's stuck. And women feel stuck too. You get stuck when you get invested. And this is why. This is why you shouldn't be having sex with any man who hasn't invested in you. Because he's not stuck. If he hasn't put any investment into you, he can walk away more easily. He needs to invest in you. Every dinner that you have is every dinner that he pays for is an investment in you. If you don't require him to do anything, he's going to walk away from you. Okay? If you don't require him to do anything, and by do anything, I mean by way of sacrifice. It has to be a sacrifice of some sort. He will walk away. Easily, too. Easily. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. No guy wants to invest into women anymore. They know the MGTOW game and just want sex. Men want what you give them. Men don't make no rules. When a man approaches you, all he can do is want what he wants. But what he gets is what you give. He can be MGTOW'd up. But when he's in your presence, you are the controller of the game. You are controller of how the outcome happens. It doesn't matter what men want. Men want what you give them. Let me say it again. Men want what you give them. Because the only thing he gets is what you give. The only only thing he can get from you is what you give. And how you present yourself and how you present what it is you give denotes your value. How quickly you give it, under what terms you give it, all of these things create a package and the category that he will put you in. That's all this thing is. A MGTOW, schmigtow, shit-tow. It don't matter, not one iota. Not one iota. Because at the end of the day, every man has to wait for your agreement. At the end of the day, every man that buys you dinner, that takes your phone number, that calls you or whatever, has to wait for you to agree. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He has no power. And women, you have to stop feeling like you're waiting on his approval. That's not what a relationship is. That ain't what a relationship is. Not when he's after you. He's after you and you're begging for approval. But that's the game. Whoever's begging for approval is the one who's the subordinate. Whoever's begging for approval is the one who's the slave. Whoever's begging for approval is the one who has to jump through the hoops. Is the one who has to make the offer. So if you're begging for approval, then you're making offers instead of him. You've transferred him being the offerer to yourself being the offerer. What do you think the result is going to be from that? He's going to offer you his dick. You're going to take it and he's going to move on. That's it. Don't be afraid of none of these movements out here. Don't be afraid of what's trending out here. Because it doesn't matter in your little world. And your little life, when you're out and about on the street and you're getting solicited online and the dating sites or wherever it is you go to get fun, you're in control of that outcome based on what you said yes to. And that is it. That is it. He's not shackling you with no MGTOW handcuffs or anything like that. He can't do any of that. All he can do is say, I have $20. Can you suck my dick for $20? Right? And now can say, excuse me, sir, I do suck dick, but not for $20. You're going to have to come up, if you want me, you're going to have to come up with more than $20 for my time. You can either say that, or you could say, fuck off. Fuck off. But a lot of women will suck dick for $20. A lot of women will suck dick for a Subway footlong. A lot of women suck dick for a dinner. So you have to figure out how much are you worth? Are you worth 4 dinners and a movie? Are you worth 4 dinners, a car wash, and some gas? Are you worth maybe a cell phone bill paid, 10 dinners, and he likes your kids maybe? He can get in your vagina if he likes your kids. You got to figure out what your conditions are. Some women, if he likes your kids, you fuck him. If he gives your kids lollipops and cotton candy or something like that, he can have access to your body. You have to figure out what it is. What are your standards? What are your standards? Black pill here. Hello, ring the bell. Ring the bell. Some of us as women have it. Let me take a drink of water because now I'm getting hot. Hold on. Now I'm getting hot in here. Some of us have a hard time creating stipulations or hurdles to jump through because we like sex. We really, really enjoy sex. and we put the you know, the value of the enjoyment of an orgasm over the process that needs to take place for the results that we want. So you can like sex, but that still doesn't negate that you have to keep your knees closed for a little while in order to create an environment where this guy is at least investing something in you before you go, you know, letting him dive in your little cavern. Men don't respect you because you like sex as much as they do. You know, you don't win any points for that. You're just someone he's gonna have fun with. If you were to win points for being highly sexual, then having sex too early wouldn't be an issue. But you don't win points for that. What you do is you rush him to, it's like you pick him up and you run him over the finish line. You say, "Come on, get on my back." And you let the dude jump on your back, and you're running with the dude on your back to the finish line. The finish line meaning the finishing of your relationship. That's what you do when you have sex too early. Too early meaning no investment has been made, and there's no reason, he has no reason yet not to walk away from you. You haven't created that yet. You haven't made it hard for him to walk away. This is why you keep your fucking legs closed for as long as you possibly can. Thank you for the donation, T. Appreciate it. How do you increase your mental game if you are not physically attractive? That's a good question. That's a really good question. It's a process of, how do I say this? I'd say the easiest way, or I would say, like, for me, the journey I had towards that was an understanding, was in letting go of trying to be liked. I think that would be your first step. There's other levels to this thing that I discuss in private sessions with people that I coach. But one of the fundamentals of that is to arrest this need for approval. When you're in a space where you need approval, you are automatically a subordinate. You're not in control when you're seeking approval. And for a lot of us women, you know, I want him to like me, and I need him to like me, and I hope he likes me, and I hope, and I hope, and I hope. And all of your actions will mirror that feeling of I want him to like me. Meaning I have no control over my worth until I can get him to feel about me a particular way. And that's a lie. That's a lie. Any man that's in your face, you're not trying to get him to feel a particular way about you. That's not your job. That's not your charge. Because men like you when you hate them. Let me say this again. The more you hate them, the more they're turned on by you. So getting him to like you is counterproductive to the results that you want to get. So your mental game is, I'm no longer in this thing to win anybody over. That's the mentality you have to adopt. That's the mentality you have to adopt. So you start right there with, putting an eraser to, I have to impress him. I gotta look a certain way. I gotta act this way, and that sort of thing. For him. Not for him. Whatever you do is for a result. But you don't do nothing specifically for him or any man that's in your face. Because he can't know that you're doing it for him. And the moment he knows you're doing anything specifically for him, aha, I got you. I got you now. And the shit starts. And then the shit starts. Some people need to be realistic. You can't be a 5 expecting to capture 10s at all. Well, you know, that is true. You do have to be realistic. And for women, I mean, it goes back to what I've been saying this whole time. You shouldn't go after somebody that you want. That would be the point. That what you're saying is the point I'm saying, which is don't go after somebody that you want. And all the complications fall away. Because then somebody that you don't want, guess what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to be respectful of you. Somebody that you ain't really attracted to, better be respectful. They better keep their word. They better put on a good show. They better come through with what they say they're going to come through with. Otherwise, you'll be out the door. For some reason, we can't have that. It's hard for us to have that mentality for people that we want. It's very hard for us to have that kind of mentality for the ones that we like swooning over. But the one you don't want is under heavy manners. They're under heavy manners, which is what my mother would say. You have to put them under heavy manners. I got to say it like mom said it. That's what you do. And you maintain I could walk away at any moment air about you when you don't want him. So you have to practice. Like this whole shit here that you're getting into is about me. And you don't verbalize that, but you internalize it. You internalize it. And everything that you act, every reward that you give him is based on what he's doing for you, not your hope to win his ass over. Not your hope to win him over. That's just what it is. So listen, if you're a 5, you might have to go to a 0. I don't know. You might have to find a dude that's a 0 if you're a 5. But you know, it's not hard for women to increase their market value. You know, a little lip gloss, a little girdle. You know, some of us need a little girdle action, little Spanx. You know, a little bit of hair and all those things to boost it up. So, you know, if you're a 5, you can go from 5 to a 5.5. You go from a 5 to a 5.5. Easily. You go to a 6, a 7, depending on how good your stylist is. You got to know what fits you. What complements your form? I said before, I can't walk in heels, so you don't see me in heels. You'll see me in cowboy boots all of the time. You see me out on the street, I'm in 2.5-inch heels, snip toe, maybe snakeskin inlaid leather boots. That's my lane. And I have the meanest strut ever. No chick in those 6-inch heels can outwalk me in my 2.5-inch boots. Nobody. I know my lane. Because I know my lane, though. So you have to know. You have to know your place in society. You have to know your place. If you know how to do your makeup, you can do a 7. Absolutely. It's not hard to be a 7. It's not hard to be a 7 at all. You know, men want fantasy. Men want fantasy. And, you know, technology is what it is now. It's not hard to give them that. It's not hard to give men an illusion now. It ain't hard at all. It ain't hard at all to give a man an illusion now. So there's no excuse. If you're a 5, you can get love too. That's all I'm saying. If chicks with dicks out here can get men to fall on the sword for them, Why can't you? A natural woman, there's chicks with dicks walking around out here that got men in love with them. And you can't get a man to fall in love with you, and you have a vagina? How, Sway? How? How? You better act like a woman. You better start acting like these trannies out here. Let them teach you how to be a one. The trannies know how to cross their legs and talk softly and flip their hair and all of that. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to flip your hair more. Let's all flip our hair. And I have to put my hair behind my ear. Is that how you get a man? You put your hair behind your ear? You gotta learn how to do it. A little hair removed is always good. What you mean, Red Wings? Like hair on the chin? Some women got hair on their chin? Some women do need the tweeze. Get your tweeze game up. Get your tweezer game up. It's real in these streets. Some of us need that tweezer. You need your tweezer in your glove compartment. You need a tweezer in your car, in your house, in your desk at work. Wherever you at, there should be a tweezer around. It shouldn't be nowhere you have to be at for more than 2 hours that don't have a tweezer on supply. When you at the light, you need to check your chin. You need to check your chin using natural lights. See what's going on down there. Yo, would you say that lip is not a good look? No, we don't need no 5 o'clock on the lip. You gotta tighten up on that. You gotta tighten up. Don't do no razor though. Go and let them do that. What do you call the thread? Oh, that thread stuff. Woo! If you don't have a high threshold for pain, you might want to go get you a bottle of Nair and handle that. But just don't shave it. Because if you shave your hair on your face, you know you're gonna grow more. That ain't no old wives' tale. Because I seen some chicks that happened to. For some reason, that shaving stimulate them bad boys to grow like wildfire. And you don't want to have a chin hair problem. That's a problem you don't want. That's a problem you do not want. Nair is horrible for you. Hey, I'm sure they have, don't they have this stuff you peel off your face now and stuff? They got stuff out here now. You ain't got to use Nair, but they have stuff out here now that you can use. Salkis, your information is getting better as the days go by. I think other YouTube secretly watch your videos and use your advice as theirs. I know some I can name. I know they do. I know they do. It's not that it's, I don't know if it's a point of getting better. It's a point of people opening their ears, because I'm repetitious in the things that I say. So whether people are copying me or not, I don't watch anybody really. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What I say always comes from the heart, and it's either you accept it or you don't. What you're stating is getting better is you just accepting what I'm saying now. It's not a point of it getting better. It's you're in acceptance of what I'm saying, probably because the other channels that you're watching are saying it too. That's the tea there. See, what I do here is I expose us and our eyes and the things, how we think and all that stuff. And a lot of people can't handle being exposed like that. They get emotional and offended and all of that stuff, and it's really not to offend. It's I have to remind people that I'm not the glam whatever it is like these other channels are, or I'm not hiding myself. But because of my presentation and how I look, there's certain demands that are made upon me. on what I should speak about, how I should say it, who I should concentrate on. You know, people try to dictate to me what I should be passionate about. And that's not how I roll. That's not how I roll. So me getting better is you seeing that other people are acknowledging what I'm saying, and now that's substantiating the information that I'm telling you. That's why you're saying that. But I've always been better. I've always been better. It is what it is. When we come to this road called truth that I live on, truth and reality that I live on, you're going to start feeling free. Like really, 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 really free. And you're going to start to accept things, and things are not going to bother you as much. And you're going to be open to opportunities. Better opportunities will come to you from all areas. All areas. It'll take time, you know, it might be an inch climb thing, but it happens. I'm not into the fluff. I'm not. And I'm not rating myself against anyone else here. Everyone has their place. Everyone has what they do, what they don't do, what they're interested in, and what they're not. One is not better than the other. Everyone serves their purpose. Everyone serves a purpose. And I'm well aware of this thing. Competition is not what I do. It's not what I do. And it's what I advise you all not to do also. I know you guys are collecting information from other places. You surf around. You get tired of me, you go somewhere else. And then when you get tired of them, you come back here. And then when you get mad at me, you go somewhere else. And then when you get mad at them, you come back here. This is what women do. We hop around and we don't pull the trigger. This is what we do. We hop around to anything that feels good, and we never pull any triggers. Never. So how do you judge better? Because it's really simple what all of us need to do. It's really simple what we need to do. But we don't do it because we're emotional. We don't do what we know we're supposed to do because this is an emotional thing that we're battling. We don't need to know right from wrong per se. We already know that. But we do wrong anyway. We eat badly when we know that we, should be eating better. We don't exercise when we know that we should. And yet we judge other people, and men in particular, about, their morality and all the wrongs that they do and stuff, when we do wrong on a daily basis. When we do all the things we're not supposed to do every single day ourselves. And then we wonder why somebody's capable of doing what they do. My thing is, don't wonder about that. Look at yourself. If you're confused about why they do that, you need to go in the mirror and look at yourself. Like, why is it that I don't do this? And I know I have to do this. Why don't I do this? When I know I have to do this. When I know at this point it's a life and death thing. If I don't do this and I still don't do it. Human nature. Human nature. It is what it is. Human nature is what it is. I am passionate about the underdog. The underdog meaning the women who, according to society, are the undesirables. The women who, according to their peers and maybe family members, have told them that they're nothing, or they can't get this or that. I have an affection and affinity for these types of women. And because I know the road so well, I'm a poster child for it myself, I deliver my wisdom in a way that I feel excites me, gets me pumped, gets me motivated to actually take action. I understand that me saying that you're beautiful means nothing. It means nothing. Because you've heard you're beautiful before. You might have heard it from your mother. You might have heard it from, you know, a boyfriend, a husband, whoever. You heard that before. And it didn't change your life. Because it doesn't change your life. Positive reinforcement. Let me say this now. Positive reinforcement does not change you. It doesn't. So this is why my little space here on social media doesn't care. Because you will not transform with positive reinforcement. With me saying positive things. You get off this live and you go, yeah, right. You go to your mirror and go, yeah, I know she said I'm beautiful, but that's a lie. Right? This is what we'll do. This is what we'll do. I blocked that user. What user? Who's blocked? Who's being blocked? Somebody's trolling here. Before she mentions Tommy Sotomayor. Toothless Gimp. Well, welcome, Toothless Gimp. Why would I mention Tommy Sotomayor? Tommy Sotomayor is not a problem here. He's not an issue here at all. I don't need him for content on this channel, so why would I mention him? He's not a factor here. Not confused at all about my beauty. Wonderful. I get told I'm beautiful, but I can't see it in the mirror, though. And Lady B, you know how many share your sentiments? A whole bunch. A whole bunch of women share your same sentiments. This is why I say the positive reinforcement is just it's pretty much a waste of time. You got to get gully with this thing. You got to go to the valley of death with how you feel about yourself. Like why do you feel ugly? What is it that's making you feel ugly? Is it because you're not getting acknowledgement? Was it because your mother said so? Was it because somebody you like dissed you? Like where's the notion of this thing coming from? And when you figure out what the source is, by the time you get to the source, it was just somebody's opinion. By the time you get to the end to that paper trail, it was just somebody's opinion. That's all it is. Just somebody's opinion. Yep, death is good to us Scorpios. We love it. Yes, Scorpios are preoccupied with death. We are known to think morbid thoughts. I don't know what that's about, but we are known for morbidity. We love talking about that. We love thinking about it. 2019. All right. All right. Men aren't the enemy. I'm going through a phase now where I just want to exploit them for their weird fetishes. Oh, I found a guy online yesterday that wants to pay me to humiliate him. Well, my dear, there's a whole market for humiliating men who have money. I've heard of this before. I don't know personally. It's like know somebody that knows somebody that does this kind of thing, and there are black women who are paid handsomely for humiliation skits. You know, calling racial names to people, whipping, and all that kind of stuff. And there are some women who get paid for the reverse. Like there are men that will pay them to call them nigger bitches and all that kind of stuff. And these women are making money, big money from these old white guys who just need a fantasy. Come here, nigger girl. And they're clocking thousands of dollars when they finish. Listen, there's all kinds of weird shit going on out here. All kinds of weird shit going on out here. Who am I to judge? If that is how you want to make your money, go, my child. Go on. I ain't got nothing to say about it. Get gully Salkis for 2019. Shit, I've been that way. I've been that way. I wish we women would stop trying to constantly prove ourselves to men. Women will do anything for the likeness of men that won't even buy them a Happy Meal. Monique, I have affection for you. I have affection for you and concern about you on a level you probably don't even appreciate, because there's things that you say. It's sort of like you're following a script that you can't get out of. You know, you can't get out of it. And with all our interactions, you say, I wish women would do this and I wish women would do that, when you really mean you. Talk to me. When you really mean, it's not women, it's you. It's always you. Talk to me. I know what it feels like. I know what rejection feels like. I know what feeling invisible feels like. I know the awful feeling of wanting men who do not want me, and assuming that because the men that I want don't want me, that it quantifies my whole value in every other area of my life. I start devaluing myself all around the board. I understand how that trickles down. And this is the purpose of my channel. And you resist what I'm saying. You resist a lot of what I'm saying when it's for you. I'm just like you. I'm just like everybody here. One time unsure, rejected, abused, different areas, different facets of life. And the conclusion that I came to, and that everyone has to come to, is that this is your walk. Only you can walk this. Are you going to bring a team of people with you? It's not going to happen. Our wish for women is that we all get it together, right? But I know all of us won't. I know a great majority of us are going to be food for the gods. I know that a great majority of us are useless eaters, because we've chosen to be that. Not because we were born that way, but because we've allowed a life to choose that for us. We've allowed life to do that for us. And we got to decide. We have to decide how we want this thing to play out. Monique says, I'm on your channel every day. I'm a big supporter of your channel, and I donate. I don't need your donation. I'm not talking about donate. I'm talking about what you're saying. I'm not talking about your viewership. You're not the only one that views my channel and hates what I talk about. Well, I'm not even saying that you hate what I talk about. I'm saying that there are people that view this every day like you and don't agree with me. So it's not even about that. I'm talking about the interactions that we have, and the air of denial is like stuff is not getting through. That's all. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When we get clear about our own hang-ups and our own hang-ups being the cause of the results that we're getting, then we're going to have a breakthrough. Instead of blaming him for being shallow, for only wanting sex. Listen, every man wants sex. Every man wants that. Until he meets a woman that he's ready to marry. Every man is a dog until he meets a woman that he's ready to marry. He's ready to hang up his dog collar and get hitched. He's just waiting for that woman to give him the reason to get hitched. That's every man. Every man. So it's not even about what they are supposed to be. It's the conditions that we require to make something happen. And we have control on making the right conditions and the right environment for the results that we want to take place. We have to take responsibility for that. I'm not expecting any man to be have a moral compass. He's as moral as the opportunity that I give him to be. That's what I know. What will play out morally is in what I accept. That's how this thing will play out. Some women would say, we're taking men off the hook. We're making them not responsible for their actions, and we're putting all of the burden on women. Some women would say that. And they might be right about that. But it doesn't change the fact that we have to do it. So whether it's unfair or not is irrelevant. The fact is, we have to mind our own business. We have to mind it. Sorry if I offended you, Salkis. It seems like you misunderstood me. I didn't misunderstand anything. I'm explaining to you what I'm seeing. I'm not offended. I'm speaking to you here. I'm speaking to you here because I see a lot of myself in you. And you don't read it as an offense. There's certain things I would like to say more things, but this is alive and I won't. But I'm saying to you, I see you. I see you. That's all. I'm not offended and I haven't misunderstood. I'm very clear. I'm very clear. So I am old school. Maybe my sisters need to remember what that means. Old school. I teach men, they listen. I teach women, they run. Oh, wow. Is that right? Has that been your experience? So you feel that men are more receptive than women, Sekhmet? That's interesting. And it's not an untruth either. It's not an untruth. We as women, there's an issue with us because we judge the validity of wisdom based on presentation. Like I don't like the way she looks, so I don't believe her. Or she's too old. She's old, so I don't think what she says has any relevance. Or she's not as attractive as I am, so I don't really think what she has to say has any merit. And there's always conditions that have to be in place for us to listen to the source of the information. Women rate and class each other. We're too busy looking at the outer shell than gleaning the wisdom. And for that reason, this is why we get seduced by men too, because it's the outer shell thing. It's not really what he is; it's what he looks like. It's the show rather than the actual content in the box. And we get duped every time, every single time. But with men, with them, if it makes sense, it just makes sense. It doesn't really matter what you look like, or how much money you make or anything like that. They don't evaluate things on the face value level like we do, as far as wisdom is concerned. Now, as far as the look of a woman, of course, men are visual, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if we're having a discussion about something, you resist me based on things that are totally irrelevant to what it is I'm saying. You're going to be in your head, triggered by something else, and you won't hear what I have to say. Women want to fight. Women want to fight. Women want to be right. You know, that's our thing. That's our thing. We don't want to look. We don't want to be wrong. We don't want to look wrong. We don't want to look unsure. We don't want to seem like we're needy. You know, the presentation is important, and we put a lot of stock in presentation, because there are people that do what it is that I do, and they are well put together. I mean, well put together. They look professional. I don't look professional. They look very professional, polished, and all of that. And the content of what they're saying, I'm sitting here like, snooze, like nothing new, nothing fresh, nothing real, very surface, all idealistic shit, imaginary stuff that nobody's really going to experience. You know? And they have followers, they have their mainstream, they're more marketable, because they're not offending anybody really. They're not offensive. They look good, and they're telling you what they want, what you want them to tell you. They're telling you exactly what you want to hear, and they're making money. Perfect combination. Perfect combination. Those are the ones that get it all. Those are the ones that get it on. You know? And it's unfortunate. I've been married for 20 years. Wonderful. Love heals. Yeah. It surely does. Yet women like a great message. But are you married though? Why are you single though? Exactly. Women do want a great message. And I'm all for that. I understand the need for that. I understand the need for hope. I understand the need for encouragement and hope, that there is a need for that. But what happens is that there's the need for encouragement creates a stall in the progress, in the process of progressing. It creates a pause, because you're always needing encouragement. When do you become emotionally independent if you constantly need encouragement? When do you become self-sustaining if your self-esteem is contingent upon a kind word? You're always going to be a pawn in someone else's life. You know, a chess move. You become just a movement on a board in somebody else's life. They just play you. They just play you. You need encouragement to do what you already know, what you knew 10 years ago that you had to do, that you knew 5 years ago that you had to do, 2 years ago. You need more encouragement to make the decision to do it. Haven't you decided? So when do you decide to do it? When do you just do it? Because that's what all of this boils down to. All of it. Anything anybody can tell you, including myself, it all boils down to just do it. Just do it. That's what it is. That's what it is. So some of us are going to be told that we don't deserve things. And some of us are going to be told that we are unattractive. And some of us are going to be told that it's too late. You're going to be told all kinds of stuff. But you have the last word on how the last chapter or the second half of your life plays out. You're the orchestrator of that. You're the creator of the next chapter of your life. So what a person says is how they feel, but it's not real until you huddle with them and say, you know what? I think you're right. I think you're right. I don't deserve this. Now it becomes a truth. It only becomes a truth when you agree to it. And I'm not talking about a passive agreement or even a passive disagreement, because you could disagree and then don't do nothing, and it's still the truth, and it still becomes the truth. So it's you bucking the system and turning your efforts and all of your energy in another direction to make something else happen. It can't be I disagree with you and I just sit down and do nothing, because that's not going to give you a result of disagreement. That's not going to give you a result of you're a liar. You're not making them a liar if you do nothing. You're not making them a liar. That's what it is. Down and dirty. They want illusions and dreams instead of dirty reality and peace. Yeah. Yeah. I guess for the most part, because, you know, the world is pretty cruel. It's such a rotten place already. You know, we hear the stories. We know the stories. And it just seems, it's scary. You know, it is scary how much evil is in the world. But there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot of it. And we can't be naive about it. We can't be naive about it. We need to know what's going on so we know how to move. You know how to step, because there are times in your life you got to step light. There's times in your life where you have to stop. There's times in your life where you're going to have to maneuver around. And if you don't know the obstacles, if you don't know the game, if you don't have the wisdom, you're going to be tripping over things and falling into things and falling into traps that people have set up for you if you don't know. So being in denial of things is not beneficial to any of us. It just isn't. And what we do as women, we are professional deniers. Professional deniers. Salkis, do you think that a woman's peak is 17 to 25 and she should be pursuing a husband? If she doesn't in that time frame, it's too late for her? Well, if we're dealing with biology, that is the proper time for you to be entering into motherhood and all of that stuff, if we're dealing with it biologically. But we have what society has collectively said is right or wrong too. So there's different elements of it. There's different elements of it. A woman that's past 25, is it over for her? Should she think it's over for her? No. Absolutely not. But should a woman who is 21 or 22 be told that if she wants a family, that she should wait and not get herself tied down to a relationship? Because that's what we tell women who are 20 and 21. That you're too young. Why tie yourself down? Live your life. This is what we tell women 17 to 25. Live your life. Do all that. Go see the world and all that shit. I don't know who's seen the fucking world. What women ever seen the world other than missionaries? See the world how? You're going to a job you don't want to be at every day for a check. That's seeing the world. You putting off getting married to go work for somebody, make money for somebody else. Now that part doesn't make any sense to me. You're holding off on creating a family to work a job. That part doesn't make any sense to me. But this is what we tell young women. Don't do that. Don't tie yourself down. And she waits until she's, by the time she is 28, you know, it's like, damn, you know, I'm approaching 30 here, and now it's, I'm approaching 30 and I don't have X, Y, Z, and ABC. Now I'm starting to feel the clock ticking, because according to society, I'm no longer in my prime anymore. That's what they're telling me in my ear now. But before, when I was in my prime, they told me to wait. This is the confusion that we teach our young women. We teach them that you are in your prime now, but you should wait. Wait for what? Wait because you're working somebody's piss-ass job? Wait for what? That would be my question. What are you waiting on? Because you could travel with your husband. If you have a husband who's making any sort of decent money, y'all can travel together. It doesn't mean that it's over. You know? But being alone doesn't mean you're going to see the world either. And a lot of women ain't seeing the world. A lot of women are alone with their Krispy Kreme donuts and stroking their dogs at home. That's their seeing the world kind of thing. Watching reality TV and wishing that they had somebody to talk to. So I don't think that it's over, that you can't do anything after 25. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I also don't think we should continue telling young women that it's ridiculous for them to want to have families if they're 21 and 22, if that's what they want to do. Not for no job. Because like I said, most women don't have careers. You have a job that if you had a choice between going and not going, you would not go. That's called a job. Something that you do only for money is a job. This what I'm doing here is my vocation. I'm not getting paid for this. This is all free because I'm passionate about this. So this would be I consider my career. Because I'll take a Sunday when I could be doing something else that could make me money, and I'm on here talking to you for free. So a job is something that you would not do unless you were getting money for it. You would not do it. And you put your life on hold, and motherhood on hold, and a relationship with a man who would more than likely really like you because your body is tight, everything is in place where it needs to be. At that point, you put all of that on hold until you start falling apart. That doesn't make, it makes things harder. It doesn't make it impossible, but it definitely makes it a little bit more challenging. So we don't want to swim upstream. It's not about women swimming upstream here. That's the thing. That's the thing. If we were in our right minds, we'd be tripping on age. It's the white man's program. Ageism, I've been talking about ageism quite a bit lately, and the fact that no woman should be clowning any woman for anything dealing with age. No woman should throw age as an insult on any other woman when every woman is going to age. When every woman feels this thing called ageism after 25. Because this is why y'all asking the questions. After 25, you start feeling old. But this is a society construct, because we live in a princess-driven society. A princess-driven society where the only thing of value is youth. The only people who should be having sex is the young. The only people that should be in love are young people. The only people that should have anything of value, anything of luxury, anything of pleasure are young people. That's our society. That's how our society is driven. It's not true, but that's what holds it together. That's what all of us, we've all been indoctrinated with it. So you have women insulting other women, that old such and such, and this old bitch and this. And I'm like, dude, okay, you're 27 now. In a couple of years, you'll be 30. You'll be 30 feeling self-conscious about your age. You're going to be exactly where the woman you're clowning is. You're going to be there. So that should never be used as an insult. Never be used as an insult or to separate us from each other. The young against the old. We're not, there's nobody against nobody here. I'm just where you're going to be. That's all. I'm already where you're heading. That's all. We're no enemies. No, it's no chick 19 got nothing on me. It's not even, we're not in the same league. We're not even in the same league, and it's not even a competition. It's only because there's a certain walk. I've already been where you're going. We're not competing with each other when I've already been where you're going. I'm the crone, you're the maiden. We can talk. We can talk. There's no shade here. There's no envy here. Because I can still get what I can get. You know, I can still get what I can get. The magic ain't gone out. The candle ain't blown out yet. Not even a little bit. And that's what this thing is. Age isn't a white man's nothing. Younger is better. People like kittens over cats, puppies over dogs, baby monkeys over gorillas. Oh, I like your analogy. I like your analogy, but we are indoctrinated with things. And a black woman who's 30 is not the same as any other type of woman who's 30. It's not the same look. It is not. There is a difference there. But it's not to say, you know, we're not bashing. We're talking biology. We're talking how we're wired. We're different. We're different than other people. And we have adopted certain things based on society's influence on us, based on the need for companies and corporations to make money off of us. They have to tell us that we're inadequate so that we will spend. That's what it is. There's money to be made when you feel inadequate. There's plastic surgeons that are going to make money if you feel inadequate and imperfect. There are cosmetic companies that make money from you feeling inadequate and imperfect. There are food companies that make money when you get into your depression and want to eat yourself into a stupor. There's food companies that make money off of your inadequacies too. Clothing companies as well. Everybody's making money off of women. Everybody's becoming billionaires because of the inadequacies placed on us as women. That's it. And now we have 20-something-year-old women getting plastic surgery. 19-year-old girls changing their facial features. 19, 18-year-olds? That's how our society is. You at 18, you're not even finished becoming what it is you're going to become, and you're already dissatisfied with yourself. But that's what we're living in now. That's what we're living in now. Easier to manipulate. I'm glad I made it out. Youth equals easier to manipulate. I'm glad I made it out. Listen, it's a blessing to get out of the maiden phase of things, because you're impressionable. You're very emotionally vulnerable. You may be more beautiful than you'll ever be at any other point in your life. You know, in youth you will. For some of us age backwards, and you know, we had the awkward stage back then, and then we really come into our own later. So that doesn't apply to everybody, but for some. For most, you know, you're the most attractive you'll ever be at that stage of life. But you're not in control of your life at that time. You're still under the thumb and under the influence of parents, peers, and whoever else wants to get something from you or make you act a certain way or whatever. So you don't really own your life then. You're beautiful, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. So you go from that stage to, you know, you hit that midpoint where you really have assessed who you are, what you want. You're not encompassed with trying to win friends and have people like you were in your youth, then you start enjoying life a little more. You start enjoying who you are more too. So it's not a curse to mature. Maturity is not a curse. Although we, some of us act like it is, but it's certainly not. It's certainly not. There's an article I read that things are priced more for women than men. You better believe it. How about that? How about that? That's absolutely true. Because they know men take a practical approach to things. Men don't buy on emotional impulse as much as women do. So women are making money for the world. We make money for everybody, and we don't support each other. We'll listen to men say say what they want to say about us, and we'll adopt that as the truth. But we won't, we'll give them our coins. We'll give them our support. We'll give them our viewership. We give this to men. But for each other, it's always, oh, she's better than her. Oh, I don't like her. I don't like the way she do this. I don't like, she's too this, she's too that. This is what we do. We have unconditional love for men, and we have conditional love for each other. That's our problem as women. We are conditioned when we relate to each other, and unconditional for men, and it should be in reverse. It should be in reverse. The so-called black woman red flag to me, I think indoctrination is kind of scary to me. There's so many levels of that, though. There's so many levels of that. So many. At the end of the day, a man needs a woman and a woman needs a man. Some of those people will be sexy, old, ugly, beautiful, and everything in between. Yeah. Yeah. Sisterhood is so important. It is. And I was not a supporter of that a while ago. Not too long ago, too. I was just like, bump the sisterhood is not going to work. But it is. It is important. It is important. Not to enable us and not to tell us what we want to hear, but to confer degrees. To confer degrees with each other is what makes the sisterhood viable. It makes it important. Not just a crying session, but this is what we want. We want a crying session. But we need conference. We need to confer with each other. We need to glean wisdom off of each other. We need to ask each other, listen, have you ever been through this? And what did you do to solve that? Instead of thinking, oh, she's prettier than me. She might be conceited, or well, she doesn't look too attractive. She might be stupid. We have these perceptions of people based on the outer shell. If she's pretty, she's not likable. If she's unattractive, she's unintelligent. If she's fat, she's stupid also. We got to get rid of these biases. That's very hard to do. That's very hard to do. And we sit here and we gather around talking about how this one judges and now that one judges, and we do the same shit ourselves. We do the shit as a species more than anybody else. As women more than anybody else. It's what we do. Guys in their 20s are not serious and don't want marriage and kids too much. They want to play the field and go MGTOW. You're still on this MGTOW. Monique, stop watching the MGTOW. It's creating a little bit of anxiety in you. This MGTOW really got you worried about your chances. And MGTOW is a figment of your imagination. Your results are going to happen based on you. Based on how you communicate your demands, how you communicate the value that you have in yourself, will dictate what your results will be. You don't know what men in their 20s want. You're not 20, so it doesn't matter. You're not 20, so it doesn't matter. A woman in her 20s doesn't have to marry a man in his 20s. That's not how it works. So if a woman in her 20s wants to be married, normally, on average, a woman is going to be with a man 5 or 6, maybe 4 to 6 years older than her anyway. No girl that I know, hardly anybody that I know, has a man that's exactly her age. It doesn't usually happen that way. He's always going to be a little bit older. He's always going to be a little bit older. So that's more normal than us worrying about what 20-year-old males want. 20-year-old males don't have money. They don't have status. They're not ready for relationships. But a man who's 30 with a woman who's 21, that'll be a good match, because by then he's already started a career, maybe established something, and so he has the components necessary to start taking care of a wife. That's usually how this thing goes anyway. MGTOW is nothing to be fearful of, unless you believe everything they're saying about women applies to you. If you believe that everything they're saying about women applies to you, then you should be worried. And if you do believe that everything they're saying about women applies to you, then you need to reassess. You need to reassess things. MGTOW mostly lame dudes angry at women for not getting chosen. Women shouldn't worry about them. I mean, men want to be, I guess they want to be treated fairly. They don't want to be used by women. They don't want to be used for their money. They don't want to be considered a piggy bank, a cash cow for uncaring women who are not in their prime, who have hit a wall or whatever it is that they say. So what they're saying is that the women who have standards, they're upset at women who have standards, who they feel shouldn't have standards, who they feel are past the point of having standards, which are women who are unattractive, women who are older, women who have children. All these women are not entitled to have standards according to these men. All these women are considered charity cases. Women who are older, women who have children, and women who are not overly attractive are, according to men, charity cases. And you should be thankful for whatever you get. And the stipulations that you're requiring for these men to have are not matched to the value that you bring. This is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. Is it right or wrong? Again, we're not dealing with the right or wrong here. They're expressing their feelings, and they have a right to express how they feel. So what we're doing here, what are we saying here? MGTOW is, listen, if you were a hoe for him, be a hoe for me. That's what they're saying. Don't have standards for me when you allow this thug or whoever it is to run his dick through you and not give you none. All of a sudden now, after all your prime years are gone, when your body was looking like something with no clothes on, all of a sudden now you got to wear a girdle and you want me to provide all of this stuff for you when you weren't requiring the other guy who used you up to do so. That's what they're saying. That's what MGTOW is saying. And they're right about that. You should be consistent in what you require. It shouldn't be contingent upon how good the guy looks. It shouldn't be contingent upon how good his dick is. Your morals should be consistent and unconditional. But for a lot of us women, our morals are conditional. And they're based on who's offering. And these men know that. And unfortunately, the women who have standards are getting lumped into the same thing. They're getting lumped in with all these bad fishes. Unfortunately, we're judged as a whole. We're judged as a whole. But then the other side of that is the women who are moral, the women who are helpful, the women who are of good character, they pull in substandards too because they don't look good. They don't look as good as the women that they really want. The woman that's a slut may not be moral, but she's the one that makes my dick hard. So I'm conflicted here. That's what's going on with men too. The women that they're choosing are immoral, but they were attracted to them. So it goes right back to what I was saying in the beginning of this live about how we want who doesn't want us. And the MGTOW men are upset because there's a bunch of women who they feel are charity cases that should want them that don't. That are requiring them to do things as if they're in love with them when the MGTOW men are not really attracted to them. And they're like, you want me to give you all this and I don't really like you. That's their complaint. I got to do this, this, and this, and I'm not really that attracted to you. I don't think you're worth that. You don't give me any anxiety. You don't make my dick hard. Not like that. Not enough to marry you. Why should I strap myself to a burden like you when really all you're good for is a one-night stand? So a man can evaluate you anyhow he wants to. MGTOW men can feel about you how they feel about you. And for some of us, you know, they come here too, say, you know, you hit a wall, and you're not that attractive, and you're a feminist, and you look like a boy, and all that stuff. They say all of that, and it's okay, because it doesn't matter as long as you're not making me an offer. If you're saying that contingent upon making me an offer, guess what's going to happen there? I'm going to show you how valuable I am to me and how much you're going to have to do in order to win me over. Because then it's another conversation. It's not just your feelings. Your feelings are what you feel. I don't give a shit about what you feel. Are you offering me something? Okay, so now let's discuss that, because now it's a negotiation. Because you feel what you feel and you want to make me an offer too. So then this requires now for you to know what your offer, what starting point we got to work with here. Because every man is going to try to get it for free. Let me say it again. Every man, whether he likes you or not, is trying to get your ass for free. If he would, he could. He's going to test you. Whether he likes you or not, he's going to test to see if he can dig in your ass for free. So the value that you have is not really contingent upon his thought alone. He has his thoughts, he has his prejudices and his preconceived notions, just as you do. But you're substantiating that by what you agree to. It doesn't mean anything until what you do substantiates what he thought of you. It means nothing. He think about you whatever he wants. Oh, you're a 4, you ain't shit, you ain't this and that. Until you sit down with him and say, well, look, babe, this is what I'd like. You know, I got time, and I got all the time in the world to get it. This is how I would like my life to play out. Can you provide that? Do you want to? Are you capable? And then we can start negotiations from there. If he says yes, if he says I'm not in a place right now where I could do that, then you know what you're working with. If he says I'm not ready right now, I don't know, I'm not ready, I don't know, we'll see, are all no's. They're all no's. They're all a big N-O. Because a yes is a yes. A yes ain't nothing else but a yes. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And depending on what he's incentivized to do for you, lets you know what he thinks of you. That lets you know. It's not that hard at all. MGTOW, schmigtow. Who cares? Who cares? You letting that scare you? Please. You guys have to learn to play. Then you'll be able to develop strategy. Learn how to play chess. Yeah, everybody got to learn it. Everybody got to learn it. See, at segment, we can't heal if black women and men keep fighting. Black women and men will continue to fight. I don't really see any end to that. Honestly, I don't see no a silver lining to that. We're more and more every day exposed to different things, and there are going to be a few survivors at the end of this thing. Just like Jesus came for the lost tribe of Israel, he didn't come for the world. Jesus didn't come to save the world. He came for a small group of people. And there's always going to be a little group of people left in anything. It's not going to be a whole lot of people at the end of this fight. It's just not going to be that. Because you have black people who want to be white, they want to be other than themselves, and they want the lifestyle of people that we call oppressors. You know, they're looking for that life, and they're willing to make sacrifices in cultural beliefs, religious beliefs, whatever it is, in order to get that. And there's no changing people's minds who are motivated by those things. You can't change the minds of those people. I'm not fighting with men. I'm certainly not. And I don't feel like fighting with me. I don't have no fight with anybody. Because you can be you. I'm not trying to reform anybody. You can be you. Reform is an act of your own will. There's nothing any woman can do to reform a man. It's an act of his own will. So once you understand that, then there is no fight. What's the fight then? What's the fight then? There is none. It's okay. I love my brothers. I love brothers that love me. I love those that love me. And that's it. I love those that love me, and I pray for the rest. That's it. MGTOW is also a reaction to the court system and laws that give women too much power over men. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I feel that, and I think men should fight for their right to have, you know, as far as fairness in the court system, you know, shared rights with children and whatever else that they feel is sort of biased to women. They should fight in the court system for that. Because fighting with us and we don't make laws, it doesn't make any sense. We're not the ones making the laws. We're affected by them as well. So I think they should. I think they should. But to say that but along with that, you have the dogma that comes with that, and the hype and the emotional component of it, which is statements that are made about a woman's value. Like, I mean, along with all of that, the supposedly fighting court, if they are, I don't know if there exactly any movement has been made with that, or if this is just talk. But along with the supposed court thing, you have men that say emotionally that women should be shunned altogether. That advising young men not to have families. Not to even look to women to have families with. And it's that part that's not beneficial to us. Because now, you know, men are being told that they're going to be paying someone else's rent for the rest of their lives. They're going to be indigent and destitute if they get married. And the point is to be free. So it might be a court thing, but they're also telling each other, listen, just fuck her, don't marry her. You can screw her, just don't marry her. And that's dangerous, because having sex with somebody is a bond. You're creating a bond with them. You are now sharing responsibility for each other's bodies. And if she becomes pregnant, then what happens there? Because you're walking into it with no emotions, no care about her, no care, concern for her well-being or anything. So if she becomes pregnant, then she's a statistic. That's not beneficial. We shouldn't look at sex as, like, so I'm just a hole. I'm just a warm hole that you can shit in or something, that you can ejaculate in. That's not humanity. That's not being humane. It's dangerous. We don't need that narrative. So, you mean black women don't know their own power? Black women don't understand her power. Power. I guess by power, what I would mean is just power to make the right decisions for you. Power to do the right thing. Because some of us feel helpless in the decisions that we make. We feel like we don't have any other choice in what we're deciding to do. Like we're just sitting ducks. Living day to day as sitting ducks. You don't have power over anybody. At least not in my opinion. When I speak about power, I'm talking about power over yourself. Power to do what's necessary, what's right, even if it's inconvenient. Even if you miss out on something. Even if the other person gets offended or gets the wrong idea. You do what's necessary for you. That's the only power I'm speaking of. What I'm saying is once the black woman heals herself, the world heals. It's that deep. Once the black woman heals herself, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. That's what I have to say on that. Don't hold your breath. There's a lot going on out here. And you gotta be a warrior, like, for real. For real. The enemy is in every facet of your life. We talk about relationships, but it's in every area of your life. It's the enemy is the food that you put on your plate. Your boss at work. Some of us, your children, even. Until the black woman heals, when will that happen? This is not going to be a rapture. It's not going to be that. This is an individual walk that each of us have to do. And we can ask for help along the way. Because I'm a helper. I'm an empath, and I'm here to assist as I go in my own journey. Because I have my own walk. I got my own path that I'm walking too. And I've decided that I want to be an assistant to other people, to help them along, to push them along in their journey, and say, don't be afraid, go. You got this. This is your walk. This is your road. You ain't got to wait for nobody else. You got to wait for permission to walk your own road. But it is your own road. And it won't be a collective uprising of any kind. There'll be one here, one there, a little bit over here, two over there. One will be left and the other will be taken up. Isn't that what the Bible says? One will be in the field and the other one will be taken up in an instant. That's how this thing is going to be. That's how it's going to be. Which one will you be? Will you be left or will you be taken up? And what would be the reason for you to be taken up? Because there are requirements for you to be saved, you know. Even for you to be saved, you have to meet certain requirements. Just because you think you're a good person, you should be saved? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So you guys, I'm going to wrap up this live now. Sex and relationships are not a must. People feel entitled, like someone is obliged to love them. Love yourself. Black women are not healers of the universe. It takes a collective effort. Healing is a personal thing. There is nothing that's going to be collective anything. It's an individual thing. Why? Because people conceal themselves. People are dishonest for the most part. People forget that they're lying. People don't dig deep enough for there to be a collective anything. I said on yesterday's live, you're looking for a revolution and you can't get a man to help you take your grocery bags to your front door. Where's the revolution going to come from? If he doesn't instinctively help a struggling woman with bags to the door, which will cost him nothing to do. No sacrifice there in that. No fear of death in that. You know, there's nothing in that that's sacrificial. But they won't even do that. And you think there's going to be a revolution? The way society is going now, you know, the plans to alter our mentalities are in place where nobody's going to revolt, because everybody's concerned with the right for everybody to feel and do as they want to do. That's the dialogue. Well, you know, I'm not going to say you can't. You know, we're in a point now where people are afraid to say what they feel is right or wrong, and a lot of people don't know anymore. Because we're so preoccupied with not so-called hurting or offending someone else's feelings that we don't even know. So no, it's not a collective thing. It's you in the privacy of your own home. It's you when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, and the internal things that you say to yourself on each day. That is your battle. That is your good and evil. That's your God and the devil right there in you. In you. And nobody can walk that. Nobody can walk that. That is all I'm saying. What happened here? Well, y'all having a conversation. You never hear white women need to heal the world, or Asian women need to heal the world, or Latin women need to heal the world. Everything is on black women. Yeah, that. It's that. It's not a collective thing. And as much as I understand the need for sisterhood for certain things, I understand that it really is an individual journey for each and every one of us. It really, really is. Everybody's at their own set point, their own point on the road. You know, I'm a little further than some, and I'm way behind others, and you know, that's us. That's how it is. But to feel that we got to take on the burden of the world, and you won't even eat the salad that you know you need to eat. How do you go from basic things that you don't do to healing the world? It's an irreality. It's an irreality, and we're not disciplined enough to even toy with that notion. We're not really goddesses. We're people. We're people. We're human animals. That's what we are. Human animals trying to figure this thing out. Trying to be less animalistic and more godlike. And you know how you do that? Less food. You know how you be godlike? Doing less of all the things that you do as a human. That's how you become godlike. Who wants to do that? Who wants to not eat much? Who wants to eat every other day? Raise your hand. For the rest of your life. Who wants to eat once a week? Who wants to never have sex again? Who wants to not need entertainment as stimulants or eat sugar or anything like that? I mean, this is what's required. This is what's required if you really are going to be in a position where you can heal the world. Heal the world. That means you're godlike for real. That means you're not material at all. I'm just saying. Black women will never heal till they stop blaming the black man for the decisions they make when dating men they knew wasn't shit from the start, but still sleeping with these types of men. Black women will heal when they understand what sex is, the purpose of it, the purpose of mating, and how far from it really is from what we see on the screen and, you know, what we're told about love and all of that stuff. Some of us have options to date several people. Some of us are blessed with attractiveness that we can choose whomever we want. Is that power, though? Is it power to be able to degrade anybody you want? To be able to make promises that you don't keep? To be able to not commit to anyone? Not have anyone dependent on you? Is that power? Because for some people, they think it is. I think the true power is in having options, but resisting the temptation to take them. That is where power is. Power is in withholding, not doing. Power is in withholding things, not in the doing of the things. Doing is easy, but not doing when you can. That's when you become a god. That's when you become a god. When you can do something, but you do not, is when you become a god. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. So you guys, I have reached the end of this live, I believe. You need to go to my website, iloveherart.com. If you need to speak with me privately, email me at salkis@iloveherart.com. I am an artist, an author, relationship expert, spiritual advisor, medicine woman, life coach, all things in between. I'm getting ready to ship off. This is a piece that I have done. This is actually one of my art prints that I am going to FedEx to ship off today. But this is the quality of work that I do, and what you'll get if you go to the site. Get you a token of appreciation in yourself and commitment to what you say you're going to do in your life. Get a visual representation of that. That's the purpose of why I draw, why I paint, and do all that I do. And yes, that's Amore. Her name is La Petite Moore. That's actually her name. That's her exact name. So get you something. Get you something symbolic, whatever resonates with you on the site. The artwork is outstanding. I don't play games with that. I put all my passion and all my energy into it. Just like I do on these lives, and I throw my whole self into it. I put my soul into my work. And that's what makes life worth living, when you put all your soul into something. Because you want to, because it drives you, you know? We try to do that with other people, but I'm going to tell you now, people will disappoint you. People will always disappoint you. People will fall in and out of love with you. People hate you today and they love you tomorrow, and then they hate you again when you don't do what they say. This is what people do. Do something that doesn't require anybody else's love. That's solely selfishly driven. And you'll start to feel like there's a reason for you living. There's a reason for your life. You need a reason to live, you know. You need a reason to live. It's very true. Why do you think old people, after they retire, they croak? Why do old people, like, they work a job 50 years, they get the retirement party, and 6 months later they're dead? Because there's no reason for them to live anymore. You want to be alive? You need a reason to be alive. You need to find out what that is. And stop using people as human pacifiers and crutches for your disbelief in yourself and your self-deprecation. Stop trying to mask all these things that you feel about yourself by using the love, by trying to manipulate love out of other people. They can't give you that. This journey is yours. This journey is yours. All right? So that's it. That's it. Please share this live. Please share it. Please give it a thumbs up. Those that like it, those that don't like it, give it a thumbs up, so it'll come up on your feed again, and you have another video not to like. You know, whatever. Whatsoever. But share it in your groups and mention me on those other platforms that you go to. Since you like to mention those other folks, you can start mentioning me. It's okay. I give you permission to mention me. Make me a household name, because they're watching anyway, which I know. And I shall talk to you soon. Sending love to you all.